Our generation was born in the 1980秒 and grew up in the 1990秒. We lived through those years of material hardship and witnessed firsthand the transformation of this country from youth to prosperity. Without any connections, without support, and without anyone paving the way for us, we have, with unwavering passion and an unyielding spirit, step by step, made our way from youth to where we are today. Some say the post-full 80秒 generation is the most miserable. When we graduated, we encountered a job slump. After a few years of work, we saw skyrocketing housing prices. Just as we found our footing, we were pushed forward by the times. Workplace competition, financial pressures, family responsibilities, one after another weighed on our shoulders. But I believe our generation is also the most resilient. We grew up amidst storms and forged ahead amidst difficulties. Although exhausted, we refused to give up. In our 30s and early 40s, we once thought that life should have settled down, but reality tells us the storms and challenges remain. Mortgages, children, parents, health, careers, each one requires our responsibility. All of this reminds me of a Taoist concept. Go with the flow. We may not be able to determine the direction of the wind, but where the boat goes and when to unfurl the sails are our own choices. If the wind is blowing in the wrong direction, furl the sails. Going with the flow isn't about retreating, it's about wisdom. Look at those tall trees standing tall in the wind. If they stubbornly resist the wind, their branches will break. But branches that know how to sway with the wind can remain standing even after the wind subsides. It's the same with people. Facing the raging winds of life, sometimes there's no need to brave them head on. First, steady your steps, retreat your edge, wait for the wind to change, and then start again. Just like water, when it encounters a rock, it doesn't crash into it, but rather circumvents it. Water that circumvents it still reaches the sea, but its path is gentler and more sustainable. Strength is not as powerful as mind. A calm mind leads to victory. Let go of obsessions and travel light. Often, we tire not because the road is difficult, but because we carry too much weight, other people's expectations, society's standards, the pressure we place on ourselves. Like stones, they weigh us down, suffocating us. Taoism says, less is gain, more is confusion. Thinking too much can lead to loss of direction. Carrying too much can hinder progress. Try to let go of some of the obsession with must win, and you'll find that life's weight has become much lighter. The morning sun always shines through the window, but when we're overwhelmed by anxiety, we can't see it. The stars always hang high in the sky at night, but when we're overwhelmed, we forget to look up. Sometimes in life, we need to pause, not to fall behind others, but to move forward more steadily and for a longer period. The answer lies within, not outside. Making peace with oneself is the true turning point. We always yearn to prove ourselves, to win every battle against fate, but only at a certain age. do we realize that life's greatest victory lies not in conquering others, but in settling within ourselves. The Taoist concept of Wu-wei doesn't mean inaction, but rather the elimination of futile effort. When you stop comparing yourself to others and stop being swayed by external forces, your heart will gradually calm. That peace will allow you to see your direction and yourself more clearly. Golden quote: "A true turning point is making peace with yourself. Headwinds are a test." Headwinds aren't necessarily a bad thing. They force us to walk with a steadier posture and to see the road more clearly. Those who walk in the wind will have their roots planted deeper, and the light in their hearts will shine brighter. Going with the flow isn't passive, but a form of soft power. Steady yourself when the wind blows. Quicken your pace when the wind subsides. This is the survival wisdom of those born after the 1980秒. The clouds will disperse, the rain will cease, and the road will remain. We, the post 1980秒 generation, have lived through an era of material scarcity and witnessed the profound changes of this era. We have been pushed by wind and rain, and we have also run against headwinds. Turning the tide against the wind is not just a matter of luck, but a state of mind. It means that in any situation, we can find our own rhythm without panic, rush, or confusion. It reminds us not to be led by external winds, but to let our hearts be the true helmsman of the ship. Are you also searching for the answer that brings you peace? Have you also traveled far in the wind and rain, only to discover that what you desire most is inner peace? Feel free to leave a comment and share. I am the answer, and I will accompany you in your enlightenment.